As promised, we're talking a little bit more about monkeypox. The CDC has increased its monkeypox alert to a level 2. So that means they recommend travelers wear masks and avoid close contact with sick people. Now, just a few minutes ago, we told you that Texas has confirmed its first case of monkeypox out of Dallas. In the U.S., there have been 35 reported cases. Globally, there are more than 1,000 confirmed and suspected monkeypox cases from 29 countries. So going a little further in depth, we asked Dr. Rodney Rhode back on the show, and he is the Regents Professor of Clinical Laboratory Science at Texas State University in San Marcos.
Dr. Rhode, thanks for joining us again. We just learned about this first case here in Texas. How likely is it to spread down to Austin and, in fact, across Texas?
Hi, Robert and Britt. Thanks for having me on again. First of all, just a quick snapshot. There are now 35 cases across the United States. That's 14 states, and including the District of Columbia. And the individual in Dallas had made a recent visit to Mexico in the past month, and I think they confirmed the positive test yesterday, and he's home recovering. So, again, this particular virus is spread through direct contact, including with linens and other things like that people may have spread the infectious agent to through pustules and lesions. It's actually a very low type of transmission. It's under 1 as a reproductive number as compared to something like COVID, which is more like 4 to 6. So it's not real likely to transmit quickly. That's why you're seeing a linear progression of cases, 1, 2, 3 at a time, instead of jumping to 30, 50, 100 a day or something like that we've all been used to in the past 2 years. So I actually believe it's going to be a pretty low likelihood that it moves quickly. Again, we are not testing actively. Surveillance is passive through case identification with healthcare and through other means. And so that number could be a little underrepresented. We might have a few more cases that we're not aware of. And so I think the likelihood is that it could potentially end up in Austin, but it also could be just as likely to end up in any other place in the United States due to a clustering of individuals that may have traveled or may have been in these groups of people in social networks that are showing transmission amongst certain members of those groups.
So, Doctor, two-part question here. What I'm hearing you say is that it's not easily transmissible, like something like a cold or COVID or things like that. If you do catch it, though, what are the symptoms like?
Yeah, great question, Britt. So the symptoms actually do start out generally flu-like, from mild to moderate. So fever, fatigue, things like that. One unusual kind of different presentation is usually swollen lymph glands or swollen lymph nodes, which is something you don't see with the cousin virus, which is smallpox. So again, people are linking that as a cousin, but monkeypox is nothing like that. It's again important to remember and to remind all your viewers that there have been no deaths in the United States or anywhere. And most people are at home recovering in isolation. They're doing contact tracing and watching those individuals closely. Usually it resolves within 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Typically people are not infectious once scabs and lesions kind of fall off and you have new healthy skin. So it's really something that we believe you can watch for, take precautions for, and it's again nothing like an aerosolization of a virus like we've been dealing with COVID over the past 2 years.
And you mentioned smallpox. The CDC is reporting the smallpox vaccine might offer protection against monkeypox. Are you seeing any sort of push for smallpox vaccines nationwide?
I'm really not, and as a professional opinion, and I think all my colleagues would agree, I believe it's not necessary at this time. What they are utilizing vaccines potentially for is when you do have a case and you know that case is, in Dallas, for example, and the close contacts, the family members and things like that. When that person's at home, after they usually have left the hospital, if they've been in the hospital, they will isolate, they will watch those close contacts. If needed, they might choose to vaccinate close family members or close contacts if there's any risk or any concern that there might have been skin-to-skin contact or, again, with fomites like linens or bed linens or clothing or things like that. But in general, it's not being pushed right now to receive that vaccine. But you are correct. We do have 2 FDA-approved vaccines that are against smallpox, and one of them is for both smallpox and monkeypox. So those have been proven effective if we need them. And we also have a couple of antivirals that are available. So again, we We have some tools already in the toolbox, and we again have seen this, globally for decades. It's just that it's kind of popping up in the U.S., which is a little unusual due to travel and things like that.
For sure. Dr. Rodney Rhode with Texas State University, thanks for your insight. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.